more on China's influence in Latin America, let's go now to Einar Tangen. He is a senior fellow at the Taihe Institute and chairman of Asia Narratives. Good to see you, Einar. Now, the Shanghai port is set to redefine trade between China and Latin America. Can you tell us about Peru's geographical location and how it makes this gateway to Latin America so important for markets there and also for Asian economies?
Okay, so you have to think about South America as two sections divided by the Andes Mountains. They're high and unfortunately very difficult to get around. So the countries that were on the western side, unfortunately, had to send a lot of their goods and materials all the way around the Horn to Mexico or through the Panama Canal, and then have it loaded onto these ultra carriers. This is going to create, as they said, between 10 and 12 days of time savings, and also 30% of the cost. So these countries can now export directly. It's going to be advantageous for everybody. And, you know, I think Shanghai has to get used to the idea that it well may be the future Shenzhen of South America.
Peru is the second largest investment destination for China in Latin America. What makes this relationship so strong? Talk about the history of China-Peru relations and especially the trade relations.
Well, they go back many, many years, but I mean, South America has had a definite tilt towards China. It's been a situation where produce and things like this, especially in the agricultural field, have been going towards China already, but as I said, with additional days. Now, when you're dealing with agriculture, time is literally money. You can wait longer to pick the fruit. You don't have to, it can be more ripe and therefore more appealing. Almost 50% of the agricultural exports are coming out of Peru, Chile, and these different countries. And it'll also help Brazil, vast area. They don't want to go overland and try to get their produce to the East Coast. They can now go to the West Coast. So this is a real game changer. But, most of all, it represents a contrast. I mean, here you have Biden and Xi going there. Biden is handing over the keys to the U.S. government to Trump, while President Xi will be inaugurating this 1.3 Shanghai megaport. It will be about $3.5 billion in investment by the time they get the processing centers and other infrastructure put in. But really, it's amazing. This is all started in 2021. I mean, think back in the middle of COVID, and now it's complete.
Historically, the United States has featured as a premier trade and investment partner in Latin America, but as you said, Chinese political and economic ties have deepened in the region. What does this mean for the geopolitics, and how might the US and China collaborate on the issues being discussed at APEC this week?
Well, it takes two, and right now the U.S. is headed towards isolationism. Under Trump, during his first term, he really did not pay much attention to South America. To the extent he paid attention, it was a lot of negative. He was accusing them of always being, thieves and drug mules and all this type of thing, rapists. So I don't see that really changing. And if anything, it's going to get worse. He may reopen the current kind of NAFTA that they have with Mexico and Canada and make that more onerous. 10% tariffs across the board is tantamount to economic warfare against the entire globe. So it's not easy to see how it's going to be done. In terms of APEC, yes, there are a lot of goals there, inclusiveness. Obviously, they want to do something about the environment. And those are not Trump's strong suits, not something he's concerned about. So, as they said, they are hoping for 4.4% growth, but they are anticipating some waves. But, compare the 4.4% growth that they're expecting versus what is expected in Europe and America. It's really a sea change where these other countries, the rest of the world, are suddenly outperforming their previous heroes economically.
All right, Einar Tangen, we'll have to leave it there. Really appreciate your time.